첩시 예대에 내가 대원에 지표디 캐버즈 자셔에 단주 지수차다 야가나로 지 나고 간접 욕심을 배치해 주로 같은 거 예대에 지소 나로야 애는 잠셔에 단주 리우기 삼다면다고 와 애는 준주도 차샤 냠ling 자주 생각한 냠ling 때문에 슈 초도 차대요. 대단하게 다 냠ling 때문에 슈로스 용시야 용하래. 대디네 마 되게 의사네. 지 가서 그 순간이 야쳐보지 더네 손으로 와. 나도 별 캐버즈 자샤버디 안 샤버는 시리. 그래 뭐 내줄라 산재기 쳐라. 토과동도 저는 가르쳐야지. 최소한의 중간식 뭘 때니 순차로지 차고. 다들 들을 수 있으시고 생각해야 돼. 나는 내줄 뭐 먹지. 허리가 와. 내줄 뭐 통되가 와. 진짜지. 통도 직수 다참고 예를 지기 나나 원에 산재를 치 자기도 산에 텔레시고 지기 산재를 치고보다 심해질 수도 있지. 시험을 주면 산재기 쳐를 타바셔야지 시에는 타바 타바셔야지 좋아해. 시 알아서 멍구찌기 완전 루스를 타바시 사시고 됐던 게.
For example, in Tibet, the Buddhism flourished so much that everyone there accepts Buddhism, just taking for granted that this is the religion, this is something relevant to us. And then accordingly, the very treatise is composed by the great Tibetan Buddhist masters. The style of composition is very much different from those compositions by the Indian masters, where there's the plurality of religious systems. So the style of the literature composed by the Tibetan masters would be just focused or aimed at those disciples who just took it for granted of the Buddhism. And whereas in India, because of the plurality of the different faiths, we see that the very style of composition is in ways of rigorous exploration and investigation and so forth. If we take into consideration the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, composed by one of the great Indian masters, Shantideva, so although that text is something explicitly meant for cultivating the bodhicitta, the awakening mind of enlightenment, so there the style of composition is again done in a very careful and precise in the form of exchange and so forth. So these all clearly tells us that the sense of the rigor, sense of exploration has to be there according to the circumstance, according to the time you are in. So the reason why I told you about we should be 21st century Buddhist practitioners is because that in this century we could see divergent views and divergent things to hear, divergent things to see, and so forth. So accordingly, by understanding all these things, and yet you should be able to appreciate Buddhism. So how can we do that? Is studying Buddhism in depth. So through that when one generates or arrives at the conclusion or the appreciation of Buddhism, that should be so authentic and so reliable. So it is on this basis that I was telling that we should be 21st century Buddhist practitioners. And it is not sufficient, I mean to say that it is not sufficient that we should be very much kind of inclined towards faith and prayers mainly.